How do I move negative 3x to the other side? Guys, answer the question. If it's a negative, how do I get it on the other side? What's the opposite operation? Thank you. Plus 3x. I get negative 40 equals 17 plus 3 is 20x. And then how do I finish? Divide 20. Thank you. If you're not sure how to do that, negative 40 divide 20. And negative 2 equals x. Guys, use your calculators to check if you want to. So you can write your answer down and then check to make sure that you did it right in your head. All right. I'm going to flip back. I want to do one with a divide. So let me go ahead and do number 2 as well. Okay, so negative 4 plus a over 7 equals negative 4. So again, this is your work for today. If you'll copy it down, then that's right now you're going to about have 3 answers, and then we're going to keep going. So you're not going to have to do all of them. So this is an A. What's on the same side as A but not with it? Zoomers, you can answer too. What's on the same side as A but not with it? The longer you take, the less time you have in class.
Negative 4.
Thank you. How do we get rid of a negative 4? Plus 4. Very good, guys. All right, so I wanted to go over this one because we get a 0 over here, and a lot of you guys try to stop going when you get a 0. Don't stop going. We still got to get A by itself. How do we get rid of a divide 7? Whatever we do to one side, we have to do the other. And 0 times 7 is 0. So you don't have to stop. You just keep going. 0 doesn't mean stop. All right. I think number 3 looks just like that. I don't know if it gives you 0, but you work it the same exact way. Okay. So there's solving equations. After we did solving equations, we did literal equations or solving for y. I'm going to write down number 11. 5x plus 8y equals negative 8. Remember our 2 steps. The first one is move x. And the second one is divide that number with y. So the first step, we're going to move this x. It's a positive 5x. How do I get rid of it? Subtract it or minus it. So they cancel out on this side. I bring down what's left over. And then over here, I write what I see, but I want to put my x first. So it's a negative 5x and a negative 8. Again, write down what you see. So that was step 1. Step 2 is divide by that number with y. So we're going to divide by 8. And remember, you divide everything by 8. And I know that on your EDF, some of these are kind of complicated. If you need help, just ask us and we'll help you out, okay? So don't stress out. A lot of you have not done your solving for y work. It needs to be done, okay? We get y equals negative 5 over 8. Remember what I told you. If you want to put it in your calculator and do math, enter. If it doesn't change, you know it's as simple as possible. That feature right there will help you on your assignment for EDIA. So your online assignment, that'll help you. And then we want to do negative 8 over 8, math, enter, and it actually gives us negative 1. That's your final equation. Make sure you're typing in y equals on that online assignment. Make sure you're typing in y equals, and then put your fractions in. Okay. Let me look at your next one. I'll pull that back up in just a minute. Let's look at 14. It says solve for y, but this one doesn't have a y. So all you're going to do is solve for x. Solve for x. So how do I get x by itself? Minus 1. What's 0 minus 1? Negative 1. That's your final answer. That's all you do. So don't stress out if there's not a y, just solve for the single variable that's there. Okay. Let me go back. Let's look at 15 real fast. I'm going to write it down. Sorry, I had to switch papers. Y minus 2 equals negative 1/3 x plus 3. So that's what this one looks like. Remember, if we have parentheses, we go ahead and distribute. 1/3 times x is negative 1/3 x. If you need to in your calculator, negative 1/3 times 3 gives you negative 1. Use that calculator, okay? Use it. And then how do I get y by itself? Instead of minus 2, what do I do? Plus 2. And we'll work on more like this later. So y equals negative 1/3 x, and negative 1 plus 2 is 1. I didn't do anything with x, just with that number with y. After we solved for y, we did consecutive integers and perimeter. So remember, for consecutive integers, let's go to your quiz. Let's see if we have any consecutive integers. Yep, right there. Okay, so number 19 says 2 consecutive odd integers. And then the other one says 3 consecutive even integers. So I'm going to set these up for you, but I'm not going to solve them, okay? So I'm going to set them up, but I'm not going to solve them. So 19, 2 consecutive odd that add to negative 116. Okay, so remember, just for this, consecutive versus consecutive odd or even. Okay, so if it asks just for consecutive, it's going to be n plus 1, n plus 2. If it's odd or even, it's going to skip n plus 2, n plus 4. They don't go over 3 numbers. Okay, so that's the most you're going to get. You're not going to get 4, 5, 6 numbers. All right. So on number 19, it asks for 2 consecutive odds. So that's going to be this one. And we only want 2 of them. Okay. It says 2 consecutive odd add together. So n and n plus 2 give you negative 116. You can solve that one yourself. Add your n's together and then change the sign. All right, your next one. 3 consecutive integers, the sum of the largest. I'm just writing it down. Okay, 3 consecutive integers. So the sum of the largest. If we did 3 consecutive, 1, 2, 3, which one is the largest? N plus 1 or n plus 2? Which one's going to be the biggest number in the end? Which one has the most added to it?
N plus 2.
Yes. Okay. So n plus 2 is the largest. What does sum mean?
Total.
So we're going to add them, total them up. 5 times the smallest. Out of these 3, which one is the smallest?
N.
N. So 5 times n is negative 244. Okay, so there it is set up. Add your n's together and then solve for n. Look at your next one. Any more consecutive integers? Nope, that was the last one. All right, perimeters. It says each side of an isosceles triangle. So there's triangles and rectangles. So let's start with 16. Remember, an isosceles triangle, our two sides are the same. Okay, two sides are the same. So I drew that out, but I'll show you in a minute what that is. Each side of an isosceles triangle is 4 times the third side. Perimeter equals 114. And it wants the smallest side. Okay, so here's what I see on your test when you guys eventually take your test is you, just like I told you, people get these questions right. They do all the work right, but they don't answer the question they ask. So we want to make sure that we found the smallest. So each side is 4 times the third. We don't know the third. We're going to label it X. These two are the same. Those little marks mean that they're the same. How do I do 4 times the third? If the third is X, how do I do 4 times the third? Come on, guys. You did this all last week and you answered like crazy. Happy Tuesday. We already went past Monday. If X is the third side, how do I do 4 times that?
X.
Thank you. This is how it was second period. I mean, first period. Like I couldn't, nothing. Yep. So then how do we find perimeter? That's an easy question. Answer it. How do we find perimeter? Matthew, how do we find perimeter?
Add up all the sides.
We know it, we just don't want to answer. So we're going to add the sides, 4x. Matthew, I really appreciate that. Plus 4x plus x. It said our perimeter was 114. Okay. We're going to solve it up. 4 plus 4 is 8. Plus 1 is 9. To solve, we divide by 9. If you need your calculator, go ahead and do that. Did I write that down 114 right? Yeah, and it is decimals. Okay, perfect. So we get 12.67-ish. And that's okay. Notice I was freaked out at first, and then when I went back, they have decimals, right? It wanted the smallest side. What's smallest, X or 4X? What is smaller, X or 4X? X. So this would have been your answer, okay? So I'm glad I did that one with you and you don't have the decimal one. All right. We're going to do one more. If you look at 17, it is the same exact question. So I just did all the work for you. But what is the question that it asked? What's the question it asked? I heard a whisper.
Find the largest.
Find the largest. So how would I find the largest? If X was the smallest, how do I find the largest? If this one is the smallest, and these are the same, which one is the largest? Is there a better way to ask it?
No.
Okay. Are there any more sides to this triangle? We found this one, right? Do we know the other two? How do we find the other two? How do we find the exact measure of the other two? Mm-mm. Okay, guys, this side is 12.67. How do I figure out the lengths of these sides? If they are 4x, I already know x is 12.67. Okay, both of those are the same. Both of those are the largest side. It doesn't matter which one you choose. They're both equal, so it doesn't matter. It's really asking what are the other sides. So then I just put that in my calculator. 4 times 12.67, and I get 50.68. So there's 17. Okay. The last one like this is a rectangle. So maybe the rectangles are a little bit easier. The length of a rectangle is 3 times the width. Again, I'm just writing it down. The perimeter is 72. Find the width. All right, so here's your rectangle. It says the perimeter is 72. We know that we add all the sides to get 72. How do I do the length is 3 times the width? How do I do 3 times the width? How do I write that? Anybody, Zoomers, can y'all help me out? 3 times the width.
Would it help if we asked what the width was? I mean, do we know?
Do we know what the width is?
Does anybody online know what the width is?
Savannah, how do I write 3 times the width?
Three X equals 72.
Slow down just a little bit. You did 3x is perfect, 3 times the width, because we don't know what the width is. I use W for width. You can use X. So Savannah, you are not wrong. What do we know about this side of the rectangle? This is an easy question. It's the same. It's 3W. Perfect. Do we know what the width is? That's what Ms. Walter asked just a minute ago. Yes or no? Do we know a specific value? No. What did we use for width? Nope. W. The left and the right are going to be the same. Okay, set it up. It should every time look just like this, okay? We're going to add them up because perimeter says add them up. So 3W plus W plus 3W plus W equals 72. Add your like terms. How many total W's do I have? 3 plus 1 is 4 plus 3 is 7 plus 1 is 8. So I get 8W equals 72. How do I solve that? Divide 8. Very good. Thank you for talking today. And 72 divide 8, if you have to use your calculator, is 9. The question was, what is the width? 9. What if they ask you what the length was? What would I have to do? Remember, we found these. The width was 9. How do I find the length? What do you got to do? Not add 9. It's just like this one. How did we find the other side? One side was X. How do we find the other side? What do we do? Guys, when we try to find the other side, we just plug in 3. We found W is 9. What's 3 times 9? 27. Okay, you have to plug in to find the other side. You're going to have questions like that on your final exam. You're going to have questions like that on your test. This is why we're reviewing today. Okay, so what you have today is you're going to finish this up. It's 20 questions. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I did like 8 or 9, 10, something like that. So you really only have 10 problems. Once you finish this, or even before you, those of you sitting in here before you get started, finish up missing work. I have some of you that didn't finish up that multi-step equations from day one. Day one. So we need to go back and get that. If you don't know what you're missing, let me know and I will tell you. It should be on your list of assignments still on EDIA. Okay. So make sure you have that done. There's one assignment in Canvas that you have to do or had to do. And then this will be your second assignment in Canvas. Everything else has been on EDIA. Okay. I will let you know if you're sitting in class. I'll definitely let you know. If you're online, just yell at me. Don't go anywhere. Let me get your attendance. When I dismiss you, you can go. If you need help, stay. Hunter, you can go. Matthew, you can go. Lillian, you can go. Lucas, you can go. Savannah, you can go.
I told her to say.
Yep.
I didn't get my,
And then Adam and Kevin, I have you, but you guys need to stay. All right. Make you host. Yeah, I'll see what I can do to fix that.
All right, boys, can you hear me? Adam, Kevin, are you there?
Yeah, we're here.
Adam, Kevin.
Yeah, we're here.
Okay. Let's go back and see what we're missing in EDIA, okay?
Okay.
Let me pull it up first and then I'll share my screen, okay?
Okay.
This up here. Let's see. All right, let me pull my screen up here and share it. I think this is it. Hit share.
For the two that you have, Ms. Walker,
Yeah.
solve for Y, both of them. One is done half of it, Adam's done half, and Kevin's not done any.
Okay. All right, guys, y'all need to go in and do the one. Let's see.
Middle equations.
All right, can you see my screen, guys? Kevin, can you see?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay, you need to go in and do the little equation solve for Y. And Adam, you've already done that, okay?
Okay.